Hello, everybody. My name is Christian Slider, and welcome back to That's the Flavor, your weekly podcast where I sit down with my friends, special guests, whatever you want to call them, and talk about my life and random fun stories or just crazy topics, whatever. Like how 15 ducks could possibly beat a Shaquille O'Neal-sized loaf of Wonder Bread. That was an episode. It happened. But welcome to the podcast. Welcome to episode 11. We're finally into those double digits. We've passed them. We're moving on through them. Soon we'll hit that 20, 30, 40, 50, 90. That's why we're skipping straight from 50 to 90. You guys know how it is. But before we get into it, I need to let you all know that first off, today's guest is not Ozzy. He's not Brady. We're not slumming around with them anymore. Also, I'm kidding. Brady, Ozzy, I love you guys. You guys are like my best friends. But today we have rising YouTube star Hew Moran, who just hit over 30,000 subs literally yesterday, if I'm right. I think it was yesterday.
Yes.
Yes, it was yesterday.
But rising YouTube star, what an intro!
Shut off the episode. I'm out here now. Selling you up, all right? I'm selling you up.
This is the peak, guys. Shut off the episode now. It doesn't get any better. I swear. You're gonna learn
not true. We don't know what's gonna happen in the next 50 minutes, but this is it. This is as good as it gets, guys.
Oh yeah.
Pack it up, go home. But before we get into talking about Hew's crazy subscriber blow up and crazy view blow up on YouTube, I need to let you guys know that this episode of That's a Flavor is sponsored by Anchor, and I will tell you guys more about that later, just like I did last week. Don't worry, I got you guys' back. I'm not dropping that that ad on you right now. I'm going to let you guys settle in a little bit. Sit down, grab some popcorn, and then I'll hit it with you later when you're not thinking about it. It's fine. I also want to let you guys know about the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com. You go and you search Christian Slider. I would say youtube.com/Christian Slider, but I don't have a custom URL because that requires 100 subs, which is kind of stupid, but it's fine. Go ahead, look that channel up. That's where That's the Flavor is going to be. It's hanging out, doing its thing over there. Eventually, That's the Flavor will be in video form, and then eventually it'll be live streamed. It's going to kind of keep building, and as I keep figuring out new things I want to do with it. So go check that over there, and also go follow the Twitter account. Today on Twitter, I asked you guys for questions for today's episode, and there's going to be some of those in here. And yeah, just definitely go follow the Twitter account because it's a fun time. I like to hang out there, have a good time. But Hew, let's get into the meat and potatoes. So 30,000 subs. How does that make you feel?
30,000. I would, play it humble like a normal YouTuber and be like, oh my god, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Right.
But 30,000 blows my freaking mind. Because I was thinking about it the other day, and I think I commented this on my 30,000 subscriber milestone. 30,000 people could fill 600 buses. So if I wanted to have a group meetup of all my fans, we'd need 600 buses, which blew my mind.
That's so many buses.
Isn't it?
Right.
And then the high school that I graduated from only had 1,500 students. So that's a lot of my high schools following me. It blows my mind, and I'm so thankful for everything.
So I need to give the audience a little bit of context here. This 30,000 happened honestly really fast and started happening really recently. So give me a little bit of the background of your YouTube, your content creation journey, how you started and then kind of how you got to now.
So that's a long one.
Right. So, yeah. And I know it is.
Let's see. So I would say I've probably been making content for about 3 to 4 years at this point. 3 to 4, maybe even 2 to 2 years or so, due to the fact of when I actually committed down, it's been the past 2 years probably. So I started streaming because I wanted to. That's a lie. The reason I started streaming was on accident. So we'll just be honest we'll be honest right out the gate. So I didn't want to go to this party. I wanted to stay home and play Ark Survival Evolved. Great game. My friends were at the party, which was happening next door. So they wanted to play Ark Survival Evolved too, but they wanted to also be social. So they went to the party and they told me to stream it on Twitch. So I set up a stream and streamed Ark Survival Evolved to them at the party the whole night while I was just chilling at home. And it slowly was a thing that I would do so my friends would watch me. And slowly, these people from the internet would watch me as well. It was on accident. I just started getting these people that are oh my god, this kid's playing some Halo today. I'm gonna watch it. And that's actually where I got mainly into. Is I started off doing a lot of Halo, got a good amount of following on there, and this is all on Twitch. I didn't touch YouTube till recently, and I got a little bit of following, and then I think I got 2,000 following from Halo within a year and a half or so. And then I went over to a game called Darwin Project, which is not doing that well. It's closing at the end of this year, which is another reason I had to jump off that train. But by the time I left Darwin Project, I had 4,500 followers on Twitch. And when I left Darwin Project, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So this is probably like 7-8 months ago.
Yeah.
So I took a 3-month hiatus from Twitch and a 3-month hiatus from YouTube. And I rebranded my whole YouTube, which I had started at this time. I think I was at like 2,000 subscribers. I had started it in January this year. So I think it was like 2 to 3 months after starting my YouTube. I took like a hiatus and stuff. And I came back and I was like, you know what? I want to do comedy sketches and comedy skits on YouTube. So I started doing that. And obviously when you change stuff up, it doesn't do as well. But I kept pushing through. And then we got this blow up from like the Halo family videos, the Call of Duty family videos, all this stuff just getting so much love and support. And it's insane. But it literally just came down to, in that 3-month hiatus when I was off, I was sitting there thinking of just like what I wanted to do. And you know, like when you have a following, you're like, you don't know if they're going to follow you to the next thing you do. You don't know how strong your following is. Yeah. So during this 3-month hiatus, I'm thinking that when I come back, I'm going to have a dead channel. You know, it's like, I was like, you know what? People are going to forget I exist and it's not really going to matter. So my first Twitch stream back, I broke like numbers that I've never broken in like a year or so from when Darwin Project was at its peak. And it like blew my mind, the amount of support I had. And I was telling people, this is my plan. I'm going to do comedy sketches. And people were like, nah, that won't work. That's stupid. I even changed my name to what it is now. And I rebranded like everything. And people still supported me, which was actually insane. And that's probably like my whole journey of getting here. But, you know, I just
I think and that's just the content creation is such a mix of hard work and that one lucky moment at the same time. Like you can work as hard as you want and you'll get somewhere. But I don't think people realize that you don't necessarily get big, or you don't start that snowball to get big unless you have that one lucky moment. Like, I don't know. And I think what's interesting is I think your lucky moment that was recent is like looking at your channel, because you were doing your comedy stuff, and as someone who's, you know, been around, who mods in your Twitch streams and stuff like that, and who, you know, we have that group chat of other people we know in like our community, our little group, and like it was like, okay, you're doing comedy stuff and it's doing pretty well. What?
The group chat. You know how many people are going to hit us up to be in the group chat? Shh. All right, keep going.
Whatever, man. They're not going to get in. Like,
you're right.
But like, and then to see you do that comedy stuff, and it's like, all right, you're doing this, and it's still working out well for you. And then I believe it was the second Halo family video came out, and somehow that just skyrocketed. And I remember telling you that like the day that came out and your subs were like growing and growing, that, oh man, you're going to hit like 5K by the weekend. And then you had already passed that by the time the weekend came, and you were at like 10K or something wild. And I was like, man, remember when I told you like at the beginning of this week that it was going to be 5K and you're double what I said, but you're like, nah, that's not going to happen. And then it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And now you're here, and in such a short amount of time, and you just keep growing.
It's honestly insane. It's definitely slowed down a lot, of course, as it should.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like, it was a huge burst. There's actually a funny story behind that video blowing up. I don't remember if you remember, but you were in the group chat as it was happening. When that video, because that video was up for like a week or so before it started to blow up.
Yeah.
And go semi-viral, I guess you'd call it. A lot of views for like a small YouTuber. And I was on vacation in a house where there was no Wi-Fi. And cellular was non-existent. So the few times that I was able to pull out my phone, I was getting text messages and DMs from people saying, yo, have you looked at your YouTube lately? Like, yo, what's going on? Or people being like, yo, you're going to hit like something by the weekend. Like you're saying 5K. And like, I'm on vacation with no Wi-Fi and I can only refresh my thing like every few hours. And every time I refreshed it, there was like a new 1,000. I was like, what is going on? And then I had to run home and make like a thank you video. And oh my God, that was a crazy time. Because I just remember like looking at my feed and just like seeing these numbers like skyrocketing, and me just, because like I ran home and I had to record. I was like, what do I even do? So like I got home, made a thank you video, made a short video as well. I think it was inappropriate YouTube sponsor breaks, pretty easy one, pretty funny one. And then I thought immediately, I was like, I have to capitalize on this. Halo Family Part 3, 4, 5. And each one's performed really well, to the point where at this moment, everything I post, people are giving me ideas for the next Halo family. Like, I don't even think I need to make ideas for these things anymore. Like, everyone's got their, like, because I guess I did a good job of writing them all together. And, like, there is, like, a story going on, especially with the COD family, the Minecraft family. There's connections going on, a lot of stuff that I'm leading towards, maybe some debates, maybe some crossovers and stuff. They're definitely neighbors and such. And like a lot of the story has like there's a real story going on in the Halo families, and it's like you could see the evolution. There's a timeline, and like people in the comments see those things, and they're like adding on their own like fan fiction to the Halo family.
It's
like,
crazy.
What's going on? It's like I was on Reddit the other night, and I saw people posting about Hew Moran's Halo family on the Halo Reddit. I was like, what is going on?
That's crazy. Like, that's just wild. That's like walking into like that's the I think the YouTube or like content creation equivalent to like seeing your face on a billboard. You know, if you're an actor or like something like that. Like that's kind of the equivalent. It's like having your stuff pop up on Reddit and be talked about without you bringing it up.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it definitely blows my mind. It's kind of like it adds like of course like 2,000, that's like not a bad number. That's pretty good. But like now, like when I tell people, oh, I do YouTube, and they like look me up and they see like freaking 30,000 or 20,000, whatever I'm at the time, they're like, holy you know, like what the heck? And
and go ahead.
I was gonna say, and it just like blows my mind. And then I was gonna segue to you know, because segues are hard.
I ruined the segue. No.
Yeah, I was trying. Oh my god.
So to give the audience a little bit of context, your Halo family videos or your Call of Duty family videos, basically what Hew does is he acts out like it makes a personality to all the different, we'll say the Halo games. That's like the big one, you know, the starter of like what has kind of spawned all of these. And it's like, oh, all right, the first Halo video game is a person, and like it's all old and oh my god, I'm the grandfather, you know. And then, you know, you go to like Halo 2, Halo 3, and then they all kind of debate and fight over which one of them is the best game. And then Hew has gone on to do this with the different versions of Minecraft and the different Call of Duty Black Ops games. And I think what's so interesting is people can say, oh man, like Hew's comedy sketches are going to fail, or like they aren't going to be that funny. But it's because, you know, there's a ton of comedy sketches out there, and there's those kind of comedy channels that already exist on YouTube. But like your comedy is unique in the sense like it's all you. You know what I mean? Like it's like, hey, you're not hiring 8 actors to go play all these different people. It's like, nah, they're all you. And I'm pretty sure we're just currently like going through and seeing your entire wardrobe as you produce videos.
Oh,
you know, like
that doesn't mean I don't plan to have some collabs.
Right.
It would definitely be easier to have people like be the games. But I love the idea of just like playing all the characters and like making like, I guess, the Hew cinematic universe, as people are calling it. I don't know, they're like trying to connect all the videos. Like one time I wore the same outfit as a Halo character in a different skit, and everyone was like, hey, and I think it was like the Monster Energy drink or something like that. And everyone was like commenting, oh my god, Halo Reach goes whack after Monster Energy. Like they just don't separate the characters from the outfit. I'm like, dude, do I have to buy more shirts? Like what's going on here?
all of your YouTube budget just goes to more shirts. Like the audience doesn't realize that. Secretly, Hew's just constantly buying more shirts. Just tons of them.
A funny story about that is I actually did walk into Walmart and get all their like plain colored shirts for like $30. Just like picked up all the ones on sale because like I need them at this point. It's insane.
Yeah, it's either that or like I guess you have to put a preface at the beginning of your videos, like, hey, the characters you see in this video are not connected to any other characters. Now, if that information, please don't comment it. Just enjoy the video. Like
exactly. Hey, at least the more comments though, and it makes people enjoy it more. I guess a funny video is even funnier when you think Halo Reach is the one getting freaking whacked out of his mind.
So, again, just I think really quickly. So, did your Halo family idea? Did it come from just like something you had already had, or with all the information and hype surrounding Halo Infinite, and you're just like, I should do this, or has it been like an idea you've been sitting on?
So, the Halo family video, it was kind of like I didn't have an idea for a video, and usually every day I write for about an hour in a journal of just like ideas. So I think I have pages and pages of just like skit ideas. Like none of them have been written, just like titles and just stuff I could do.
Right.
And one of the things I was sitting on was if social medias was a family. And when looked at it. I was like, that's a good one. And I like Googled it, and someone's already done it before. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to do that then. I don't want to copy, someone's idea like that if they're already doing something. So I was like, what's something that like I could do? And I was like, bro, I'm known for Halo. Why don't I just do this? And the first one actually performed terribly. It was the worst video on my channel, and it was even worse than every other skit I had put up. It was the worst one. And then Halo Infinite came around. I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot too. Just like bringing in Halo Infinite, why not? Because I needed the content because I'm putting up 2 skits a week, so I got to do something. So like, what? I'll just make one with Halo Infinite. And I posted that one on Twitter, and that was before I went to bed. That woke up with like 1,000 likes on that post. So it worked and kind of blew my mind. And that was before it even blew up on YouTube. I actually had a whole bunch of likes on it on Twitter, but no one subscribed to me on YouTube. It'd be like that. And then it blew up on YouTube that like weekend when I was on vacation.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just so crazy. Like talking about this and like actually talking it out is so wild because like I'll make comments like, oh well, it's crazy, like congratulations, whatever. But, like talking it out and like through the entire process of how everything fell into place is just very interesting.
Oh my god, yeah, it blows my mind. I'm talking to my dad about it actually, because my family, like at this point, like if they didn't know, they'd have to know. Like you'd have to like explain to them what's going on and like W-2s, taxes, why I'm messing up the kitchen to make a red monster video, a whole bunch of stuff. Like I destroyed the kitchen in that one, but yeah, I destroyed the kitchen. I had to clean it. That took like 5 hours, but yeah, no, I was talking to him, and me and my dad were just talking about statistics on YouTube because he finds that interesting.
Yeah.
And we were looking at my stats for like last month, not this month, last month, and there was 2 million minutes of my content watched.
Jesus.
So he did the math, and that was 33,333 hours of my content, which is equivalent to 3.5 years worth of content watched. So if someone sat down and watched all the content people watched that month, they'd be sitting there for 3.5 years. Literally,
that's crazy.
That kind of like blew my mind. Like that's the point that I realized everything I say is being observed, absorbed, and people want more, and I have to find a way to keep doing it.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's like obviously, I think that any content creator, like I know I worry about it. But do you worry on the fact that like, what if Halo Infinite comes out and it's terrible?
No, I don't. Because I'm just gonna make a Halo family video where Infinite gets like pooped on the whole time.
Oh, this is fair. Yeah, it still makes you content. This is
exactly.
fair enough point.
Yeah, because like for me, it's different. I think.
Yeah, exactly. You can always pivot to some way in some kind of comedy. I guess I never really thought about it like that. But I guess to then expand upon that. Like, do you ever just worry about the YouTube game in general? Because I think it's such a like, do you worry that one day your analytics just flip and you don't end up showing up on people's recommendeds anymore, and then you go back to the point you were 3 months ago?
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel that way. But what I like about the content I'm doing now, currently though, is the fact that like I can make a comedy video about anything, and as long as it's funny, I'll have people enjoy it. It might not be the amount of people that enjoy like a Halo family video. Like, let's say like a Halo family video usually gets like 50,000 views or whatever. But like a normal comedy video, like the Beth one I put up the other day, got like 8,000 views. And like, even though it only got 8,000, to me, that video kind of proved that that's 8,000 true fans, maybe like 6,000 true fans who aren't just there for like the gaming content, that watch me continue to do other kind of content, and they'll just like keep riding with me. And I feel like as long as I keep going into the different varieties, playing it smart, and keeping the jokes coming, I feel like it won't slow down. I think the only way it will slow down is if the YouTube algorithm just randomly flips on me, like you said. And then that's something I'll have to work through, figure it out. I think at this point, I have enough supporters and friends and people who will continue to share my content. And now I think it's the bigger and bigger you get, it becomes a domino effect, and it really just comes down to word of mouth. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
And I think one of the biggest things is the fact that you have pivoted yourself into such a position where you're not tied to anything. Like, because before this point, you were tied to the game you brought up earlier, and the game that you and me both infamously, have a relationship with, of Darwin Project. And
Yes.
and the fact that, like, I don't know, originally, you were kind of tied to that. Like, you were the Halo dude, and then you became the Darwin Project dude, and then Darwin Project imploded, and like collapsed on itself. And then now you're here in this point where you don't have to necessarily worry about being attached to anything. And I think there's a very large amount of freedom with that. So I applaud you on that, because that is something that I have struggled with as like someone on the content creation scene, is being stuck to something and then having to rebuild and then rebuild and rebuild, etc. So the fact that you're now in this like free floating position, like, is something that I just give you a round of applause for, because that is not an easy task.
Thank you. I think it's definitely something a lot of people like dream of doing, having like creative freedom.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to be where I am. Like, if tomorrow everyone stopped watching, that's the YouTube thing. Like, there's no guaranteed tomorrow. I'd be happy with what I got. I think these numbers are just like insane. And I'm actually going into film and trying to do like film writing and stuff. So like, just these comedy skits by themselves and just the writing ability, like they might not be the best recorded, the best edited, but just like the writing and the jokes are there, and like just the proof that like it's proof of concept, like.
Yeah, you can literally walk into wherever you're, interviewing for, etc., and point at this and be like, hey, it's not necessarily great. It's not movie quality, but here is this thing that I have poured so much time into. And like, this is the dedication level I have for this. I will put that same dedication level into this thing, like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's its own walking ball of proof. And that's why I think if you're someone who's listening to this right now and you're in the creative space, or you want to end up in a creative space, getting into an area like YouTube or making a podcast or streaming, etc., is such a great thing to start doing. Even if let's say you're 22 right now, it's still a great thing to go and start doing, because you can go ahead and again point at that and say, hey, this is where I started. This is where I'm going. This is what I have right now. You're able to critique yourself and compare 1 year of worth of videos to the next year. And it's something that everybody, I feel like, should do in some capacity, because I feel like how do I want to word this? The normal, in quotations, like everyday person doesn't recognize, I think, some of the importance that these things hold.
I agree.
If that makes enough sense.
I agree. I think a normal person sees like 1,000 followers on YouTube and is like, that's nothing, but like to someone in the content creation world, like if you can even get like 200 or 100, like I applaud you. Like that's 100 to 200 people that like care about your content. And I think a normal person might not see that, but once they start to do it themselves, they'll see how much work goes into it. And I think just being able to do that kind of stuff and hopping into the field, whether you're like 20, 26, 30, 15, whatever age you are, I think it's a great creative outlook, and it really helps you in other parts of life, because it teaches you the dedication of uploading, some skills like editing, writing, all that kind of stuff. And it even like teaches you the skill of like entertaining an audience, being personable. I was very introverted for most of my life, and I think Twitch streaming and YouTube by itself made me an extrovert. Like it changed my life for sure.
Yeah. So definitely, if you're out there and you're like, oh man, I want to do this, but I don't know how, just start doing. Like,
Exactly.
And everybody, I feel like, in the content creation space says that. Just start doing it, because you're going to get better over time. You're not going to be able to start off right off the bat with a perfect setup and a perfect microphone and a perfect camera. You just got to start, and you'll build over time. So again, don't be afraid. Just start doing.
Exactly.
I know that was something I struggled with for the longest time, and I kind of still do. It's the reason why I know, like, hey, if you want an example of a channel, go look at Hew's. Don't look at mine. Don't look at mine. It's a bad example.
No. I think everyone's channel has their place where they could grow, and I don't think anyone's really better than anyone. Like I could look at PewDiePie, the most subscribed channel in the world, and be like, bro, why are you doing that? Like, what is that camera quality? Like, there's so many memes about it. Like, it really isn't just about like the kind of content you're putting out. It's like everyone has a part they can work on. Like I look at mine, I see where I can work on. I look at PewDiePie, where he can work on, and honestly, I think it's just about evolution over time, and that's really it. No one's ever going to be perfect, because this is an ever-evolving world of content creation.
You hear that, PewDiePie fans? You hear that, bros? Hew just called PewDiePie out. Go subscribe to Hew right now.
Oh my god. PewDiePie versus Hew series.
See, here's the thing. Now I can just go ahead and tag PewDiePie when I post the episode for the podcast, and he'll have no idea until he listens, 25 minutes in and goes, oh, hey. Oh, yeah, okay.
That's why I was tagged.
Yeah, that's why I was tagged to this. Okay. Again, that's assuming PewDiePie has the time to listen to my podcast episode. Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
It's true.
All right. Now, super serious pivot. Always got to stay super serious. Putting on an extra pair of glasses right now. So this is ask, and I don't agree with it. The question is, what's your favorite pizza, and why is it cheese? Which I think is just an inherently bad question. I feel like you can just go, what's your favorite pizza? Because cheese is not the best pizza.
Wait, did they really ask me what my favorite pizza is and why is it cheese?
Yeah, they just immediately assumed it was cheese as well.
Why would it be cheese? Am I a basic
Exactly,
boy? Am I like basic? What? Bro.
Like, don't get me wrong. A good cheese pizza is a good pizza, but it's not my go-to.
Yeah, don't like... I feel like whoever wrote that like assumes I'm at Starbucks every day. Like, holy crap, I'm not that basic.
You're that
like,
level.
Yeah, like damn. No, I like my Dunkin' Donuts. It ain't about my Starbucks, bro. My favorite pizza. I don't know if anyone's gonna relate to this. This might be a New York thing, but it's called a stuffed slice, and it's a pizza that has meat, mushrooms sometimes. It has a lot of different meats, a lot of different cheeses, and it's like a crusted pizza that has this inside of it. It's not on top. It's like around the whole thing is crusted. So it's basically like an inside-out pizza, and you eat it. It's really good.
Isn't that just a calzone?
No, it's called a stuffed slice pizza. It's a little bit different. It's kind of like a calzone, but it's actually a slice of pizza. But if you want like a type of pizza that like I'll just get out of like an oven, nothing beats, in my opinion, peppers and onion.
Okay. I respect that choice. See,
All right.
I'm a bacon man myself.
Oh, bacon? Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't. That's not on the menus here. I've never seen a bacon pizza.
You ever seen a bacon pizza?
No.
Interesting.
What state is that? New York?
No, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's why. You guys got garbage pizza.
Yeah. Okay, well, hang on. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not saying that, I'm not getting into this whole pizza debate. But also, isn't it like a New York thing that anywhere that isn't New York has garbage pizza?
Yeah. No, we believe that.
Exactly. So, I can't dispute this with a person from New York. I can't do this.
No, you can't. But I will tell you, the reason that they'll let you put bacon on your pizza is because they're trying to save your trash pizza. Because, bacon saves everything.
I don't care, man. It's good. Right? It's good. I'm not even I'm not gonna try to fight a pizza elitist.
Pizza war.
Yeah,
What's it called? Hew Moran and Welfare Fish. 30 minutes of the episode. It was perfectly fine. It was really heartwarming hearing about Matt's story. But then it became a pizza war for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Terrible question.
Terrible question. It ruined the episode. I mean, okay. That question and that debate wouldn't necessarily ruin the episode because, again, we had a whole episode where we discussed who would win in a fight. Some ducklings or a Shaquille O'Neal-sized loaf of bread. So nothing really...
It'll be the loaf of bread, by the way. I'm just going to put that out there.
Whoa. Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. We're going to get into the real debate that's going to take up the rest of this episode. It would not be the loaf of bread.
Oh, my God. All right. We'll agree to disagree so we can continue the episode.
Fair point. But I feel like, don't worry, I have a plan where at one point I'm going to bring back every single guest that's been on the show for one gigantic episode. It's going to be super chaotic and then just debate that. Have the final absolute debate.
Bet.
That's my plan for the future. That's going to be a good time.
I'm down.
Just keep piling up your opinions until then.
Oh, yeah. No. Trust me. I got a loaf of them.
Okay,
that was a great pun. That was a great pun.
I'm gonna have to. We're gonna stop this right here. Everybody, thanks for listening to That's the Flavor. It's been a great episode. And before we move on to anything else in the episode, I want to let you guys all know that That's the Flavor is brought to you by Anchor. Then I'm just gonna pause a little bit so in the audio track it doesn't mess up. And we're back. Thank you all for listening to that ad. I appreciate it. You guys know that every time you listen to one of those ads, it helps That's the Flavor. Buy a new microphone, afford some merch, stuff like that. Things that are being worked on. Every time you listen to it, it helps some way, and it's going towards a That's the Flavor thing. It's not going to a Maserati sports car for myself.
Oh, wait. Does that mean we're not going out in your Lambo after this?
Well, considering that we don't live near each other, I mean, yeah.
Oh. I thought you were going to send your private jet that you use the sponsor money, and we were going to go driving your Lambo.
Don't. Okay, I'm trying to downplay it again. You can't just let me know.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Wow. I can't believe you. Wow, I'm exposed. This is great. As the flavor gets shut down at 11 episodes in. Great.
You're welcome.
Here was my multi-year plan. Thanks for everything.
Oh, it's all good, bro. You're welcome.
So you said that you want to go into like film writing and like the film area. Is that what you were going to school for right now? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, that is. I'm actually a English writer and minoring in a whole bunch of film stuff.
Okay. So like, there's a train passing by right now. My window's open.
Oh, okay. There was like an awkward silence. I was like, wow, he's questioning my life decisions right now.
Yeah, just paused. No, I was going to see if the train was going to pass by or what it was doing, and then it did just pass by. But so that's just really interesting because I wasn't sure. I always thought that just from our like mini conversations that you were like going to school for business or something and doing like YouTube on the side, but that we had like a business degree to fall back on or something. But the fact that you're going to like for that film side of stuff is really cool. And I say that as a theater major. So yeah. And again, that's the great, like, I don't know. And the same thing of like being in like the film industry or the theater industry. Why did we decide that we want to do like two super unstable things? You know what I mean? Like the film industry isn't necessarily the most stable thing in the world. Neither is YouTube. Theater's not that stable. We'll piece together a normal income of these two things. We'll make it work.
It's all about taking risk.
Exactly. 1,000%. Trust me.
I'll go back. I can always learn how to tell people how to do science and become a teacher. You can only be so creative for so long.
You as a science teacher, you're just shouting at your students, I used to make comedy sketches. I used to be famous.
I could fill 600 of these classrooms with my fans. You're nothing. You're insignificant to me.
Your students don't believe you, so you just like invite all of your fans to like
oh my God.
that are still around to like just come fill up your classroom.
Oh my God. At the beginning of every class, we'll just watch one comedy sketch and then that's how I teach them for the class. It'll be like some like history class and I'll like teach them how to like write English instead. After I get my tenure.
It's like that the show AP Bio.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly like
exactly like that. If you do nothing in this class, you get an A.
Yeah,
if you try to like question me about it, you fail.
Yeah, exactly. It would be like School of Rock, just not School of Rock.
Exactly. It's not School of Rock. There's just nothing going on.
Yeah, exactly. School of nothing.
Exactly.
School of YouTube. I'll teach a class on how to do YouTube.
Man. Oh no, this is bad. Let's go hop over to the questions.
Sure, what questions we got?
Well, there's not actually that many left because there's some that I had to exclude out, but there is one, and the audience is going to feel really weird when I ask it, but you're going to laugh and you're going to enjoy it. So what's your favorite Halo and why is it Halo 4?
Bro, it's not Halo 4. And okay, everyone thinks that I like hate Halo 4. I don't. I grew up playing Halo 4. I love the game. I might make fun of it all the time, but I don't really hate it. It's just so bad. My favorite Halo is Halo Reach.
That's a respectable stance, and I will side with you on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We might not agree about loaves of bread, but we can agree on Halo Reach, and that's what matters.
So going back to something we were talking about, like literally like a couple minutes ago, of the whole, I don't know, YouTube scene and the stuff we're going into not being the definite, but mainly the YouTube side of things. And I think such a big proof of that for me, as early on and as small as not even as early on, but as small as I am on the YouTube side, was the collapse of Darwin Project in that community, in that game. And like the whole, because that's what, people I knew and like myself were like building around, and then it just disappeared.
Yep.
And I think that's just such an unstable thing. And I don't know, it's really interesting because I think that's such a poorly mismanaged thing just coming to fruition. I don't know, okay, I'll sit on here and slander Darwin Project all day. I'll do it. I've done it before, I'll do it again.
Oh my God. What are you saying? Like Darwin's mismanaged, or like the idea of like single-handedly like putting all our content on one game's mishandled?
I mean, I think the idea of putting all of our content on one game is a stupid idea looking back at it. I think anybody in that space should have diversified way sooner. And you saw it towards the end, people try to do that, but it was too late. And you go and you look at those people now, and they're not doing so hot, you know?
I was thinking about this the other night, and like I put all my eggs in one basket. You're not supposed to do that. And I feel like the thing that I had going for me was there was a lot of Darwin content creators who were just that Darwin content creators. Like they wanted to be pros or really good, and they just played the game day in and day out, and they had a following. They had good viewage. But the issue was at the end of the day, they didn't make any real connections with their audience because like the audience only cared if they were good or not. However, I feel like I did a good job, like not to toot my own horn, but like I think I did a good job of not just being the Darwin guy and not just being like good at the game. Like I think I did a good job of entertaining the chat and making those connections where people, they weren't just coming for me, but they weren't just coming for the game. They were also coming for me. You know what I mean? And I feel like people should have done that more. Like everyone that, like if you're playing, like let's say you're doing Halo, like we don't have to do this about Darwin Project. Like if you're playing Halo, you're playing COD, whatever it is, you want to like not just be playing the game to be the best, unless that's like your niche, like you want to be the best COD player.
Yeah.
Go and do it. But like you always want to be diversifying and always be entertaining whatever you're doing, because like you want people to be watching and you want people to be there for you, because at the end of the day, a game might die quicker than you die. Like,
Mm-hmm.
And
I think the thing is, let's say for example, because I think it's super big right now, is like Call of Duty Warzone. If you want to go and you want to start playing Warzone and your whole thing is you want to be the best, then you better be one of the best. I say that because there are people out there that are already the best and they have a following because they are the best. So unless you are better than them or equal to them, you're not going to get any following. And even on that point, there are a ton of people out there that are just like you that say, I'm the best Warzone player. And they're also streaming and making content. And so you have 10,000 dudes or gals that want to go and stream and play video games and play Warzone. And they're all saying that they're the best and at the same level. And they're all fighting for the same small pool of viewers because everybody who's watching is up at the top. They're already watching those top sharks that are. So you're basically fighting over the same food scraps down at the bottom. So it's more of a question of, like you brought up, what can you do to be entertaining? I think that if you are an entertaining person and you go and you start streaming Warzone, you will be way more successful than someone who's trying to stream Warzone by just saying they're the best player.
I feel like it all comes down to whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. For Twitch, it comes down to be interactive with chat. Like you don't need to always be playing. You could take that time to sit there, read chat, joke around for a bit. And the way I always say is if you're streaming, you should only be live if you're entertaining. Like I feel like, or if you're in a tournament, that's fine too. But I don't think you should be live and just playing the game and ignoring chat. And that's the whole point of being live, is that interaction part. And you have 3 to 4 seconds of someone joining your chat for them to stay. And if you're just staring and sweating away at the keyboard, they're just going to leave. But if you're sitting there joking around, whether you have 1 or 100 viewers, and you're just giving that same energy all the time, most likely that one person who stops in for 3 seconds is going to stay for longer, maybe drop that follow, boost your view count. And it's just all about keeping that energy going. And it's the same thing on YouTube. When I click on a YouTube video and I hear someone start off with, hey guys, so today I'm gonna go and play some Warzone because I'm the best player, and that's it. And then they're like quiet the whole video, compared to like when I go on a YouTube video, like, hey guys, no, sorry, how's it going, bros? It's PewDiePie. Like it's like the level of excitement you put into it, and the level of like love that you can like tell someone like cares about what they're doing. It really goes a long way.
Oh, 1,000%. And I don't know, it's just that interesting thing of, I don't know. So great talking because I know you and me get it. You know what I mean? And I know that you and me understand streaming and content creation, like the things that matter. And that's why I love talking about it, because I know that majority of my audience that listens to That's the Flavor doesn't necessarily understand that. And that's why I'm bringing these things up, because it's like I know that you and me understand them, but I don't think the majority of people do. It's like as much as an outside person will go and look at it and say, oh, they're playing video games and they're streaming for some people. Like, if you're someone who cares about what you're doing, it's more than that,
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
It's
if you're
hard.
listening right now, because I know that some of my audience, and obviously you're listening right now, of course, audience, I trust you. And if you have a friend or a son or a daughter or a nephew, except you get my point, that is trying to do this thing, don't shame them away from it. I feel like that's currently what I'm trying to do when I bring these up, and I'm bringing these topics up poorly, is just hopefully breaking that stigma for some people of content creation in general. Like, if there's someone who's out there doing it and you can tell they actively care about it, just continue to support them. Because I know a ton of people that have been like pushed away from content creation in YouTube and Twitch because to the outside people it just looks like they're just playing video games or they're just sitting in front of a camera. So I don't know.
I've had that happen so many times. Like,
same.
It's just like someone will be like, let's say like I'll be like, oh, I can't go out tonight because I'm streaming or whatever, and they're like, bro, you could take the day off. It doesn't really matter. And like last weekend, last Friday, I was like, oh, I have to stream tonight. Someone's like, come on, just go out. It'll be fun, you know. And they're like, just like pushing. I'm like, bro, I got to stream for 4 hours. Like, come on, it doesn't really matter, you know. It's whatever. I was like, dude, if I don't stream for 4 hours, there's like 30 to 40 people that are gonna come and like kill me. Like they're like, I'm gonna let them down because you know they keep their Fridays open to watch me, so I have to keep my Fridays open to be there for them. And you know, and some people just don't get that.
I mean, before my Welfare Fish YouTube channel, there was an entire channel I had that was growing pretty steadily, and it was like, you know, like I was running it for a couple months, and it was up to like 60 or 70 subs, which at the time in the state that YouTube was in, for me felt like a win. And when I went to go like tell my parents about it, then they were like, oh, whatever. And basically like they started giving me like less and less time to like do my video games and like record my content. And I ended up having to like delete that channel because of that. Like there just wasn't a point, or at least the younger version of me didn't think there was a point. And then I, you know, attempted it again. And now we have the Welfare Fish channel, of course. Like, yeah, there was an entire thing I had before this that is just gone now because I like felt like I wasn't allowed to do it or I wasn't supposed to do it, you know?
That's a thing for me. Like I didn't really like tell like family or people because like the idea of like don't talk to strangers is so broken when you become like internet like known. So like it was always weird for me. I'm like streaming because like, you know, it's like putting your brain like don't talk to strangers, and like on Twitch I'm like, well, here's 50 strangers I'm talking to every day of my life now, you know. It definitely is something that like there's so many stigmas that like push people away from it. Like thank God my family supports it now. Maybe at the beginning, maybe they were a little shaky, but now that I've kind of proven it, and I feel like that's the kind of thing. It's not really like they don't want you to do it. It's kind of like they don't understand like the world of it, and they don't get what you could do with it because they didn't grow up with it themselves. You know, it's a new world to them. So I think sometimes they're not trying to be like mean or like shut you out. They're just like trying to like look out for you because like they don't fully understand what you're doing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just content creation is such an interesting thing, and I love it. I don't know. I just love this conversation, and we're kind of nearing the end of the podcast, and I'd love to go on for like another 12 hours about this, just because we get it, and I feel like there's some more we can talk about. So I definitely plan on having you on again, just to get that out of the way.
Oh yeah.
But as we're wrapping up here, if there is like as someone who is kind of finding their success finally in the YouTube space, what's your one piece of advice that you could give to somebody right now that's listening to this that wants to do YouTube or any kind of content creation? Like, what is your go-to piece of advice?
Ooh, wow. You couldn't have told me this earlier. I would have pre-planned something. But you know,
we don't pre-plan on that
right.
flavor. Excuse
off
me.
Off the top of my head. All right. The best advice I could give someone listening right now that wants to start, you know, Nike says just do it. And honestly, that's what it is. Like, you don't, like, I feel like I see so many people like making excuses all the time. They're always like, I don't have enough time. They're like, I don't have the equipment. They're like, I don't know what to do, or I don't, whatever, you know, there's like so many excuses. And like in my book, you could take out most people. I know like 12-year-olds with smartphones now, which actually blows my mind. But like that idea blows my mind. But just take out your smartphone and literally use your smartphone to record something. It has the capability. Oh my God. It has the compatibility. It has the compatibility. Oh my God. It has the compatibility to record audio, footage, everything. And like nowadays, kids are posting on their Snapchat stories for longer than a YouTube video sometimes. Like I have to scroll through someone's like 2-minute life story on Snapchat. And like, and that's the same person who's making an excuse saying, I don't have time to do YouTube. I'm like, instead of ranting on your phone upward, rant on your phone sideways and upload it on YouTube and become a commentary channel or something, or talk about your life, vlogs. Like, you could do so much stuff, and the best thing you could do is just put something out there and see how it happens. That's
what a great piece of advice. Because there's so many people out there that could just turn their rants into YouTube content, and hey, it's content because somebody out there feels the same way. So,
exactly.
what a great piece of advice. Now,
thank you.
Again, as we're wrapping up here, is there anything you really want to go to and shout out, promote? Because I know that you got a YouTube channel, you got a Twitch. What is like your thing right now? That what do you want? What do you got? Anything you want to promote? Put out there?
I guess if you guys want to follow me on any social media, it's just Hew Moran, HEWMORAN. One word, no space on everything. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. You can find me by just typing that in. I think YouTube does have space, but you can find it without putting the space. And honestly, just check it out. I have a lot of cool stuff incoming. I'm working on a whole bunch of comedy videos. If my video doesn't make you laugh, watch another one. And if that one doesn't make you laugh, watch one more. And then after that, then you can shut off the channel. I promise I'm not going to make you laugh. But it will be great, guys. Be sure to go check those out,
That's it. If you don't get on the third one, he's never going to make you laugh, guys.
Exactly.
He's got it down to a science. He's got his own videos down to its own science. Well,
exactly.
if you don't laugh on the third one, I don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Get up, go home.
Yeah, you just don't have my same sense of humor, I don't need you anyway. Get out of here.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I love you all.
But yeah, Hew, thank you so much for being on this episode of That's the Flavor. And audience, thank you so much for listening. I know this episode was a little different, and I bet that Hew, you even realized it was a little different as we got into it. It wasn't necessarily the crazy, chaotic humor that normally happens, because I just want to try something different and interview someone like yourself a little bit more. And so I appreciate you for kind of rolling with that.
No
and audience, I appreciate you for listening through this different style and hopefully give you a little bit of a perspective as to the side of content creation and how one subscriber can easily turn, not easily, I'm going to take that, can turn into 30,000 if you put the time in. And if if what you're doing is what you love,
I'm waiting for one of us to blow up, and like this podcast is going to come back in like 30 years from now. Like one of us will blow up, and then 30 years from now, there will be like some like person on the news being like taking my not being able to say that word and be like, see, he's stupid. He shouldn't be the president of the United States. Like something, like that. You can't even speak.
One of us is going to blow up and the other one's going to end up in like a cardboard box. And it could go either way. I really feel like it could go either way.
I feel that.
So, audience, we'll see what happens in 30 years. We'll come back to this in a time capsule, and maybe we'll even come back to it in a year. Who knows? Maybe we'll make this a yearly thing, this interview process, kind of like how Billie Eilish does her whole interview thing every year.
Oh my God, yeah, she has the 1 year one. That's so cool.
Exactly. So maybe we'll do that. I'll just interview you once a year.
All right, bet. That'll always be fun.
Until next time, audience, thank you so much for listening to That's the Flavor. Go check out Hew's stuff. Go check out the Christian Slider YouTube channel, not my Twitch, not yet at least. That's the Flavor Twitter, stuff like that. Just go check it all out. We're just two dudes out here making content, and you guys know that from me, and now you know that about Hew. Until next time, audience, I've been Christian Slider. This has been That's the Flavor. Until next time, stay flavorful.
Yay!
And now I gotta do this.
Heck yeah, bro. I thought that was pretty good. That was a good hour.
Yeah.